Mesechta Zevachim, Daf Mem Gimel Amud Aleph. We're starting from Mem Beis Amud Beis, 3 lines above the Mishnah, the words Ema. So yesterday we were learning that according to the Shita of Meir, according to Reish Lakish, the way something becomes puzzle is al das Rishona. That means the first part of the Avodah you had at Machshavas Pigul, Machshavas Chutz Lizmanei. Then the next one Stam, he didn't have any Machshava, so we say it's al das Rishona. So there it's talking about he had first, first the Kmitza, and then by the Kmitza is the first part of the Avodah. So that's where he had the Machshavas Pigul, and then he did Levena Bishasik without any Kavanah. Then, according to Meir, it would fit with the Shlakish perfect, then it's Aldas Rishena, that's going to be Pigul. But the Mishnah says that even if it's the other way around, even if by the Koimetz, he didn't have a Machshava of Pigul. Only by the Levena, we still said it's Pigul. Is that we don't follow Aldas Rishena.
The whole thing.
Yeah. But when it's said in the Mishnah, it means Kvar Nosnas Levena Machshava. It means that he gave the Levena first, and the Koimetz he did quietly after. So by the Levena, he had Machshava Pigul. So the Levena, that's why when it says Levena, it means that Levena he had Machshava Pigul by Levena first, and then by the Kmitza. He did it. It says he did it backwards. It says he brings it around. He did it backwards. But you want to first Chad, it doesn't make sense because I know they should give both cases. One case was he had Machshava a Pigul by the Koimetz and one by the Levena. I mean, it's exactly that. But Tanya, we learned the Fetish from Raisa that it wasn't the Koimetz came after the Levena. It says Befetish, but Achakach Nosnas HaLevena b'Machshava. So you can learn that's the pshat. Kasha is the kasha. The Shita of Reish Lakish and Meir that he says Yosef Chadas Sheno doesn't exist. Okay. So it's mefaglim, but they say he becomes pigul for a different reason, Meir, because he says you can even by making part of the mincha, one of the avodah, no matter where it is, it's mefaglim the whole thing. Okay, talk to Mishnah. The Mishnah is going to be simple. Look, the Mishnah. Chum hold no only till he had pigul throughout all 4 avodas. So the Mishnah dvarim shein chayom aleham mishum pigul. Now he's going to tell you these are the things that you can't be chay pigul. Pigul could only be mechuyev if it's something that's mateh. Like zrika, by the zika it's mat. Once you do the zika, you're mutter to eat the carbon or you're mutter to burn the emurim. But it has to be something the basa becomes mutter because of the zika.
It has to be an avodah.
It has to also has to be something that's it has to depend on something else to become mutter. But he says koimetz, these are things that are not dependent on other things to be matter. So since it's not dependent on something else to be matter, it goes first. It doesn't depend on something to be matter. So then Minchas Kahanim, the whole thing is burned. So forget about it. There's nothing being mutter there. It's all burned. The Minchas Kohen Mashiach and the Minchas of the Kohen Mashiach. V'hadam, there's nothing to eat. Very good. That's what he said. It's exactly what you said. He said, "You want it? I'll read it." It says everything is burned. Chol Minchas Kohen. Kol tiya lo yisrachel the hayne shi mekteres kol ve ein an khalas the shlavas hasen will kein an nikmetzes nim say ve shein la minchas koin mat there's nothing. So he says over here behadam and the dam there's nothing to be matter the blood. So the blood cannot, if you had a kavanah pigul by the blood, the dam does not become pigul itself. If you had during the dam a machshava to eat the meat that you're going to be matter with this dam, chutz lizmanei, that's pigul. The dam itself is nishkim pigul.
It has to be a doer. It has to create something.
It has to be something that it's matter it. The dam is matter something else, but nothing is being matter the dam. So the dam itself cannot become pigul. Okay, on its own. And then you have the nesachim and the libations, the wine that they brought together with the carbon. So he says their pigul could be chayiv on them chal on them to be chayiv kares for eating them because it depends on the carbon. Your whole reason why you're bringing the nesachim is dependent on the carbon. So the zevach makes you bring this. So then it becomes bigel. The Rab Meir. No, af nesachim. Even the nesachim that comes with the behema, there's no kares. There's no kares if you eat. If you how do you call it? There's no kares on the nesachim. Why? Because the nesachim could be brought many days later. I'll bring it down on 5.
It's not at the same time.
It's not the same. Ein an nesachim tzrichen likariv im hazevach dafke. It doesn't have to be brought mamish with the carbon. You're right. If it's brought with the carbon, it's the carbon that's making him bring it. But it doesn't have to be brought with the carbon. And then he brings down. Which number was it? I was saying 5. 5. Here he says, Chacham saying, "Afilu b'niskei zevach she'ikrim yachad ma'zevach, ein hazevach nechshav kimat shal nesachim. Hoy ve'ev shoy lahakv es nesachim bizmanacha. You can bring it on a later date on its own." Loik shemen shel metzeda, the look shemen of metzeda by metzeda. The seder of the Taras metzeda was he brought 3 kabbanas, Asham, Achates, and Oila, and also look shemen. And after the zika, so after they sprayed the dam of the asham, what would the kohen do with the dam? He would the leftover. He put on the right ear, the right thumb, the toe. He would have to put it. So the lug shaman was also sprayed kedaged beis kodesh kedashim, and then he would place with a finger smeared exactly in the same places where the dam was placed on, and the leftover they would pour on his head. That's a good feeling if you bald. Reb Shimon says. So he says, by the look shel shaman, you're not chayiv because of pigul. Why? Because it doesn't have to be brought dafke with the asham. You can bring it at a later date, like the wine. Very good. And he says exactly like the wine. So he says kimei, just like the nisachim. Meir says, yeah, no, he's high because of pigul. Because the dam of the asham is matter to use to spray the shemen by the mizbeach and to use it to put in the place on the ear and everywhere else. So here's the klal. Anything that has something that's being matter it, whether it's for Adam, whether it's for the mizbeach, meaning the basar, the person gets to eat, or the Haktorah say Murim, the Mizbeach gets to eat Chayv Alam Mishum Pigul, because something else was Mata the Basa or the Murim. Ha'olam, like the carbon of Ha'olas Behema, Dama Matas Psara. The Dama is Mata, the meat that Le Mizbeach, to put it on top of the Mizbeach. So that Basa, so he says that Basa becomes Pigul. There's oila lakahanim, and it's also matter the oila that even though all the basa goes to the mizbeach, but the hide could go to the kahanim.
That's not burnt.
That's not burnt. No, it goes to the kahanim. They use it. Oila saif, by the oila of a oif. Now we're not talking about a behema. So he says here, how does it work? Dama mates psara. The blood of the oif is matter the psara to place it on the mizbeach. How was it done? With a mitzui. Either that's malika, he cut it and then squeeze out the blood. We'll soon see. So he says matan dal. I'm going to read in the ha'ara. The matan dam oil sa'if is different than utzmeiva. He did with malika with the thumb, sharp nail, and cut the back of the bird's neck.
I had a manicure every day.
Yep, beautiful manicure. A chalif. The kanabeshet, yeah, but he cut from the side. But Malika was done from the back, and he says like this: there's no, you don't receive it in the kli, and you don't spray on the mizbeach like you do by Eilis Behema. What do? Mitzvah, you squeeze it against the wall of the mizbeach. It's being squeezed out. No, it's dead. It's dead. He's squeezing out the blood. So he says over here that dam, the chatzei, the dama is mata es psara, lachilas kahanim, to eat the chicken for the kahanim. Parim anasofim usin anasofim. That's the chatas pnimius. If you remember, there's the pahelim, tzibur, there's the par koyin hamashiach. These were brought inside. Those were the chatois hapnimi, where the blood was sprayed inside. The murim were burnt on the mizbeach hachitzon. It says dama matan es emireyem likorim. The blood is matter, the fats to be sacrificed on the mizbeach. Therefore, if in the time when he was doing the avodas adam, he had in mind to burn the emurim, the fats, after this man, then it became puzzle. It became pigul. We learn now pigul from shlamim, and anything that's not similar to the ikavit of the shlamim is not going to be pigul. Where was the ikah blood? What's the ikah kapara by shlamim? The blood. Where was the blood sprayed? By the mizbeach hachitzon. But by the parim anasaf, where was the blood sprayed? Inside, in the pnimi, in the heichel. So then it's not similar to a shlamim, so it doesn't become pigul. Amaula.
So really, what the only items that become pigul is
Anything
shlamim or an asham, right?
Asham, oila. Okay. So Amaula. Ula said, koimetz, the kemitza of a mincha pigul is pigul shehelu. A koimetz pigul, a koimetz of a mincha that became pigul shehelu agaba mizbeach. He put it on the mizbeach. Poka pigule mimanu. The whole pigul was removed. It flew it away. It's removed.
Pigul.
It's not. Im achenim maybe ledei pigul. In fact, and he says, if others can make it pigul. I'm sorry. Im achenim maybe ledei pigul. If the burning the koimetz with the machshava chutz lizmana, it could cause that the rest of the mincha should become pigul. Who atzmai like kol shkeinu. So then, shouldn't the haktada help in the gate itself? We don't know what that means. You want to say, what are you saying? My karma, what sucks to the what
They
karma?
help about that, what should also become
It's
not
all,
pigul, or be all pigul.
itself, it should help. We don't know what he means. So he says, I'll tell you what he means. My karma, hachi karma. Im einem iskabel. If the pigul, if it's pigul, and you're going to say, hey, you had a machshava by the kmitza when you did the kmitza pigul, so you're not allowed to put it on the mizbeach, shem pigul. So if you're already not allowed to put it on the mizbeach, maybe achenim would like pigul. That's the kasha. How could you say this kmitza by the haktada? He had a machshava of chutz lizmanoi is going to make the rest of the mincha pigul if you can't even put it on the mizbeach. It's awesome to put it on the mizbeach. It's possible. It's pigul.
That's why he said you could.
Oh, 1 second. So how's it become pigul? How's there a concept of making the rest of the mincha pigul? It's not shaykh. You can't even put it on the mizbeach that the rest of the mincha should become pigul. I'll read it over here. Hey, maybe acheinu they pigul, meaning keitzad toilak taras lavis hashiyari abin ledei pigul me'acha u'sheyadanu shaktaras hakemitz achem na'il lavi hashiyari abin ledei pigul hakachein shakemitz atzmim miskabel hamizbeach haktaras ve'ein neither mishum pigul. The only way that it could become pigul is you have to say that it's mefagel the others, that when you put it on the mizbeach it wasn't pigul, and it's not pigul. That's why. And then he has the machshava of chutz lizmani. Then the rest becomes pigul.
When is he? What's his money? After he puts it on his veil?
He puts on the mizbeach and he has a mind to eat it after the zman. Yeah. So what is the Ula come to teach us? The nafkamina, what is he telling us? So he says, if the kaman is to tell us that after he burns the koimetz, you're not going to be, he burned the koimetz, right? Now he's going to eat it. So if he eats it, he wants to tell us you're not going to be chayiv kares for the eating the kmitza. Even though it's pasul, it's pigul, but you're not going to be chayiv kares. So we just learned that in the Mishnah. The first one was hakoimetz, because there's nothing being mat to the koimetz, so you're not going to, even though it became pigul, but you're not going to be, it became pasul, you're not going to be chayiv kares, even though you had a machshavas pigul there, because there's nothing that was mat to the koimetz Only something that's matter something
That's
else.
the first. We said it's the first.
It's the first.
It's the first.
That's what he's saying. So he says, well, that's what you want Ulas come to teach us. We learned that just now in the Mishnah. So he says, maybe the nafkamin is like this. If you brought up this pigul onto the Mizbeach, right? If you brought up the kaimitz on the Mizbeach, you don't take it down. Even though the Chatchila wasn't right to put on the Mizbeach. But once you put it on, because it was possible inside pigul, but we say, you brought it up, you don't take it down.
Let it burn.
Let it burn. So, that we learned also. Alon, if parts of the carbon that became possible because it stayed overnight, you have to spray the blood before it becomes dark. Or it was brought outside, or it became tamei. And also, or was slaughtered with the machshava to eat it in chutz lezmanoi, or to take it chutz l'mkaimei. Im alam mizbeach layedu. We learned before. If you brought on the mizbeach, you don't take it out. We learned it before. Yeah. So he says, no. I'll tell you what the chiddush is. The im yardu, if it fell down, it was on the mizbeach and then it fell down. So maybe don't pick it up. So he's come to tell us, no, yalo, you have to bring it up and put it back up.
Even though it's pigul.
Even though it's pigul. And it fell down again, so we'll leave it alone. Says you wonder, no, that the halach is not like you just said. Nami Tanina, this also we learned. No, you don't put it back on the mizbeach once it fell down. You don't. He brings it right. Nami Tanina. We learned the finish the opposite. Just like you said, once you put it on, this pigul, this puzzle thing, you can't take it off. Koch in yardu, if it fell down, you don't bring it up. Says the Gemara Leitzich over here, we're talking about Shemash Behembo Ha'ur, that the fire caught onto it, and Ula is telling us that even though it fell down, if the fire caught onto it, it's so blank soon. So it's called the Lachmei Mizbeach.
So you bring it up?
Yeah, you have to bring it back up. So this too we learned once before. The Ula had said, Lo yishanu el shalei mashal b'hem oir. Only if the fire didn't catch on to it. But if the fire caught and it fell down, yalo, you have to bring it back up. So I would have thought, when do we say that? Eva the mechaber, the ganze Zeitel, a whole side of a behemoth, and part of the behemoth is burnt. So we say, okay, the whole thing you have to leave because it's part of one piece. A mincha is full of breklach, there's so many pieces. So even though part of it got burnt, why should the other part have to stay? No, you go take off the breklach and let it go fly. He says no. Hey, the mechaber, aber koimens the mifras, aber koimens the kmitza, was is full of mefurid, it's a whole bunch of pieces. I would say no, you don't have to put it back on the mizbeach because only the part that got burnt. It's different pieces. Kamashalam that you have to. And here he brings down, even if it was never put on, let's say the mincha fell, you put this koimetz of the mincha, which was possible, you put it on the mizbeach, but half was on the floor. You never put it on. Chatchila. And it started to burn this half. We say even the half that was never on the mizbeach, you have to put it on. That's an unbelievable chiddush. So it's one piece, right? Rav Achai said, since the koimetz of the mincha is considered as one piece, hilka chai koimetz pigul, the falge mechis a'ara, falge aski amaracha. Therefore, if this koimetz pigul, which half is on the ground and half is on the mizbeach, umashla baya oir, and the oir caught on to the part on the mizbeach, masikne le'lekul chatchila. Then you take the half that's on the floor, all lechatchila, and you put it on the mizbeach.
They should burn together.
Huh?
They should
Burn together. But this is the diuk that he learned out from Ula's words. Because Ula didn't say this explicitly. Ula said about but if the fire caught on. But now here we learn a new detail with Rav Achai, that even if part of it was on the floor and part was on the mizbeach, you pick it up and you put it on the mizbeach. Noisa is something that's left over after this man that's allotted to be, you have to burn it. Tame, or somebody who's Tame, or Kodesh Shadit, Mashahel Lagabe HaMizbeach that was brought there on the Mizbeach, Paki Semahem. If somebody put, here he's talking about the, here he's talking about a chelek of meat that was pigul, or that was noisa, or that was tame. And he put it on the Mizbeach, and the Mizbeach burnt it. So it says, the moment the Mizbeach burnt these three, whether it's noisa, tame, or noisa, tame, and pigul, if the fire burns it, it becomes oisisa. No more pigul, no more noisa.
But it's nothing
No,
there, it burnt it, it's not there.
No, it's not completely burnt. It's burnt, like cooked it, you can't eat it. It's not awesome.
Verbrennt.
It's verbrannt. Paki Yisrael. There's no more Yisrael in it. Amen. Avchisna, Mari Reichin. Listen, you Baal Shmoa. HaMizbeach, mikveh, Torah. What is this? This Mizbeach is a mikveh. This is Matar, the Tumah. How did it become Ois Tameh? But what's
No,
a fire?
it burnt it, that's why.
No, it's Nishke mikveh. Amen. Avzeira, Shamash Ur. He says, because it was the fire which belongs to Hashem burnt it, it transformed this bread into lachmei shel mizbeach. It's no more the bread from before, of pigul or whatever became. It belongs to the mizbeach. Okay. So what? Must have Rabbi Yitzchak Rabbi Bisna. Rabbi Yitzchak Rabbi Bisna is the kasha. Others say that the pasuk that is talking about, there's a chilik between. I just want to tell you before we go weiter. I soon have to go. But there's Shloshim. No, I have to go to Connecticut. No, Shloshim by Common in Connecticut. My shwag is going to be here soon. I've already heard. So he saes like this.
How are you getting it?
I'm driving. So a person who's tamei and eats something toher, that's much worse. He's chayiv kodesh. A person who's toher and eats something kodesh, then it's a lav. It's nishta zegitol. So here we had a shaila here. It says v'tumase a lav. So what is the v'tumase a lav referring to? When it says a soul that will eat from the bus of the Zevachim Shlomim, v'tumase a lav. Who is the tumah on? On the meat? It's a big difference. Is it on the meat and the person is tired, or it's on the person? And it says v'nichlasa, and he gets kares. It says v'tumase alav. Who is that v'nichlasa going on? On the person, on the tumah, is the person tummy or is the meat tummy? It says v'tumase alav, b'mi shetumah parachs memeno. Only by such a person that the tumah could leave him. It's like a layer on him. It's not. It's durchgedrungen. It's not eingesungen. It's not in the chefze itself. Yotze basa shein tumah parachs memeno. Basa tumah is in the chefze. It cannot go away. But a person can be matar himself through mikveh. But if you say the fire it transforms it, it takes away the iser. It's just like a mikveh. So what's your raya? You want to bring a raya that v'tumase alav is referring that the person is tamei and he ate tohir al tamei. He ate kodesh, and that's where it says v'nichlasa. What's your raya? Because it says v'tumase alav, that there was a layer on him that you could remove through mikveh. In fact, it could go on the basa, and the tumah could be removed from the basa also through a fire. We said a fire, it's always the same get as a mikveh. We said after through mikveh. In fact, what we talk about? In this passage I just read from you. So why are you emphasizing mikveh? We're talking about this passage was talking about a shlomim. A shlomim is never on the mizbeach that a fire should catch on and make an ois isur. A shlomim geht the ganze flesh, gets in the dimension to fressen, to essen, okay, to eat. So there's no mizbeach burning. So he says, so the tumah alav has to go on the person. He's the only one that can remove the tumah. But the bas of shlomim, which never goes on the mizbeach, is not going to be removed. So it has to go on the person. He gives a different shot. The tumah alav. Tumasi Allah means he has to be the same figure that he is, and the tumah could be removed. But yatsa basa, shein tumas payrachs kishu shalom al kishu chasa. But basa, when you put it in a fire, it shrinks. It's not the same as as before, and the tumah being removed of the pasuk is talking about that he was the same exact pounds. Let's say 250 pounds, 250 pounds. Nothing shrunk.
So meat
By
can
the
never be-
basar, it cannot. It
meat can
shrinks.
never be tar.
He's saying that pasuk was referring only the way it is. That's how it becomes tired. Here it's not. It's becoming tired through a fire, but it's shrinking. It's not that pshat.
Therefore, and that's-
So therefore, it must be Tumas Allah is only referring to a person who's tamei, and a person who's tamei that eats kaddish. He's the only time that he gets kaddish. But if he's tired, he doesn't get kaddish. Guf and Benfri 11 Tumas Allah Tumas Haguf. It says with Tumas Allah, it's referring to Tumas Haguf. So we're going back. When it says with Tumas Allah, how do you know it's going on the guf of the person? Maybe it's going on the basa. Says the Gemara, Nemer Kan Tumase. This is a third raya that the Tumase Allah is going on the person. He learned it out from Gzeda Shava. It says here in this pasuk with Tumase Allah. Nemer Lahalan, in the case where somebody goes into the Beis Hamikdash while he's being tamei, is talking about the person being tamei. But which word did he use for the person who walked into the Beis Hamikdash while he was tamei? Tumase Allah. So just like the Tumase Allah is going on the person who was tamei who went into the Mikdash, so too is it's talking about Tumas Haguf. It says Shlomim, right? Shlom is Lashon Rabim, and the number of Tumah b'Lashon Yachid, but it says that Tumasoi is Lashon Yachid. So it's not going on the Shlomim on the Basa, because if it was going on the Basa, it should say V'Tumasam Allah Aleihem, but it says V'Tumasoi. So Tumasoi is a Yachid. Tumas Haguf. It's talking about Tumas Haguf. Rabbi says from here, it says V'Ochal is a raya, is a lashon yachid. The Tumasei Allah, but Tumas Haguf Hakas Medab. It says he will. It's one person eating, and it says with Tumasei Allah. So it's on the person who's eating. So it's Tumas Haguf. Achirim Amru. He's going over the Achirim now. The last sheet that we mentioned before. It says with Tumasei Allah. B'mi shetuma. It's a repetition of before. Shetuma parachs memeno. It's only on such a person, on such a thing, that the tumor could be removed as a layer. Yatzabasa, no, from mikveh. But yatzabasa she'ein tumah parachs memeno. Basa cannot be removed. It's in this. It's dugidung in the chefza. We didn't go into the Piddish. The Gemara is going to go over this whole Piddish. He's going over all these shitas soon. Rabbi said, "Va'achal v'tumas aguf, va'achal." From this that it says v'lashon yachid is for sure talking about the tumas aguf akas medaber. My mashma. How do you have a raya from the pasuk from the word va'achal that it's v'tumas aguf? Amarava kol krad loy mefarish le Rabbi Yitzchak Avdimi. Kol maslis loy mefarish le Rav Zidi loy mefarish achi. Okay, so he says any pasuk that wasn't explained by any Rabbi said any pasuk that wasn't explained by Rav Yitzchak Avdimi, or any baraisa that was not explained by Rav Yitzchak by Avdimi. That I'm sorry, any pasuk I left out. I'm gonna have a cold card. That every pasuk that wasn't explained by Rav Yitzchak Avdimi, you don't know the pshat because he said the pshat kimin chema, and any braysa that was not said by Zeiri, you don't know what the braysa is talking about. So he says Rav Yitzchak Avdimi. Since the pasuk starts off with lashon nekeva. What's the lashon nekeva? It says v'nefesh ki siga. Siga is lashon nekeva. V'siyim b'lashay nekeva. And he finished off with lashon nekeva. It says v'nichrisa hanefshahi. U'lashay zacha be'emtza, because it says v'achal in the middle. So just like over there b'tumas haguf hakas medaber, just like that pasuk where it started off with nekeva, ended off with nekeva, and the middle was zacha. You said it's going on the guf. So he says the same thing. Our pasuk where it says about hanav shasha toichal, which is a toichal is a lashon nekeva, v'nichsa hanav shahi, and the end of the pasuk is also lashon nekeva v'nichlisa, and the tumaseh love is zach in the middle. It says just like the previous pasuk where it starts off in the keva, ends off in the keva, and the middle is zacha, you say it's going on the guf. Here too, our pasuk started off in the keva, ended off in the keva, with a lashon zach in between. It's going on the guf. I'm going to stop here by Masnisa. I have to make it. Okay.